Hey there guys, I'm SonicGhost and welcome back to some more Let's Play Metroid Zero Mission. Last time, we made our way through the area Kraid and fought the boss of the area, which is also conveniently named Kraid. And we got ourselves a brand new ability here, the Speed Booster. Using this ability, we can go really fast and also break through very specific blocks that we weren't able to get through before, like those said speed blocks. So now with the Speed Booster in hand, we can use this to get to a new portion of Norfair. So let's go ahead and build up our speed and go as fast as we can to break through some blocks. Coming into this room, that should get us closer to our point of interest area that we learned at the end of the last part. I get rid of all these enemies around me just so they don't really cause me too many problems. Heading to our next room here, we got ourselves the high jump. With high jump, we can increase our maximum jump height now, but also it gives us another feature. Now we can jump in Morph Ball, which honestly, that's the best part about having high jump, is being able to now jump in ball form. Now you don't need to rely on just bombs every time, you need to get some slight height. If we come to this portion here on the left side, it's a heated area, so we're not gonna stay there. It's a little too dangerous. So let's go back the way we came, and now at high jump, we'll be able to grab this ledge that was right next to the door that we fell inside of here. And as we can tell here, we got ourselves a missile path that conveniently fell right past. A little unfortunate, but thankfully we could just wall jump right back up top. Falling down below here, we got ourselves another area that has some missiles down below, but also here, got some larvae that we just can't really do anything about, so we're not gonna be going forward into this left pathway. And we're not gonna be going down here either, due to a missile block being in our way. Can't really hit that from this area, so we're gonna have to just take a different route out of here. So here we got ourselves a Chozo statue. This said statue, it'll tell us instead of being here in Norfair, we should go back to Brinstar, as there's something in this area that's gonna be pretty helpful. So we're going right back over to Brinstar, it seems. Fortunately, we kind of popped in here real quick just to grab high jump, and now we're going out of Norfair once again. So have a short stay here. Not that big of a deal though, thankfully, because we can get out here pretty fast, thankfully, using a speed booster cannon. So we'll just use that and get out of this area right away. And now here, this is something I didn't do in one of our first trips here into Norfair, but you can just break apart these blocks, and if you do so, now we can freeze this enemy in place and use it as a stepping stone to get a missile pack. So that's some extra missiles for us right there. Very convenient. Now let's use our speed booster to take a nice little shortcut out of this area. I'm just going to, at this point, show off another new move that we have. Now that we can do jumping in Morph Ball form, now we have access to Morph Ball Shine Sparks, which, using that, we can actually do some pretty insane stuff. And for 100% sake, it's good to know that said move now, as there are going to be some puzzles later on that are going to make some heavy use of Shine Sparking in your Morph Ball form. And in fact, we can actually do a little bit of a sequence break right now, using that said mechanic to get an item a little bit earlier than what the game anticipates. But they let us do it. So, is it really considered a sequence break? We're going to be doing that right now. So, this room here on the way over to where we need to go in Brinstar, we can go ahead, use a ball shine spark to go into this room where we got ourselves a pack of missiles before, and continue that chain to get our first super missile tank. Not supposed to get this right now, we're actually supposed to be getting this later, but if you know how to use your shine sparking, you can get yourself a super missile pack early on. We arm the missiles with the select button, and then we can fire by using the B button and also holding down R. And this will open up the green hatches. So now any green doors, we can open up. So while we're not supposed to have this just yet, actually going to be getting it pretty soon in terms of what the game's internal logic has us, like, in terms of, like, item progression. Said, man, it's really hard to word this because I'm thinking like a randomizer's sake, but you get the idea here. We're supposed to get super missiles later on, and it's not that far off in terms of what the game expects, but we can get them early, and if you have them early, it doesn't really break the game, but it does make things a lot easier here on the player in terms of not only exploring, but also attacking enemies, because super missiles do a lot of damage, more damage than a normal missile, but it's at the trade-off of super missiles just not having that much ammo in general. Super missiles, you're gonna find some packs here and there, but you're not gonna find nearly as many super missiles to use as normal missiles in Metroid Zero Mission. So you want to be careful with how many missiles you use here, specifically with the super missiles, because you can use a lot of these in quick succession and then just be out. They're not as common to have from an enemy to drop these said missile types compared to a normal missile, so also remember that too. At this point, I want to go ahead and save because right now we're on our way to get ourselves our next upgrade, and it's specifically taking this top path. As you can see, it's very easy to just fall down from like one bad jump. So first things first, we're gonna do anything else, get these bugs off me. Don't want to deal with these guys. Now let's go ahead and jump back up here, being very careful, because again, this jump is a little narrow and not the easiest to make, but thankfully, with high jump, we can just jump up above and grab ledges. Trying to get up there without high jump, not the easiest thing to do, but it is technically possible. Now, in this room, we can't go any further here because we got these interesting looking ball crystal things in front of us, but these bugs will actually destroy these. So that's very convenient for our sake. It might as well be more like a cocoon of some kind when you really think about it. But we got an interesting platforming section here. We're gonna be just making our way through all these crumbling blocks, using these to our advantage to climb over to the other portion of the room. And now we get to the other side, we need the bugs to destroy this little crystal egg looking thing. And from there, we get ourselves our new upgrade, the Varia suit. The Varia suit will decrease damage taken from enemies, so now we have a little more armor to work with, and that's not all. The Varia suit will prevent us from taking damage from both acid and heat sources. So now we can run in acid and walk in the heat rooms without taking any damage. And here is our Varia suit, a nice orange color. Not much of a difference in the look between the normal suit and the Varia suit outside of its colors, but future Metroid games will have a little more of a difference between how the base suit looks for Samus and how the Varia suit looks. But in the first adventure, it's pretty much just like a recolor. That's about it. It was a lot more obvious in the original Metroid that was a recolor, because the color they picked for the Varia suit in that game was a nice hot pink. It was a little too much in my opinion. I prefer how the suit looks here in Metroid Zero Mission compared to the original NES game, just being a nice bright pink. Didn't really fit the suit all that well in my opinion, just kind of looked out of place. Now that we have the Varia suit, go ahead and save our game that way. Don't have to do that whole section again. Honestly, getting to the Varia suit is kind of a challenge. Even when you have the upgrades necessary to get to the said suit, it can still be a lot. Let's go ahead and grab ourselves a missile pack here, get us some more missiles as always. And from here, we want to go ahead and continue forward. Be careful not to get attacked by too many bugs, but unfortunately a Chozo statue blocks the way, so we can't really go any further. Or so you think. We'll actually jump down into the acid now that we can stand in the said goop and not worrying about taking damage, and use these bugs to open an alternative path here to go into the next room. Now, one thing to note about being in acid here is while we can walk around in the said goop without taking any damage, it does count as water. So while you can move in acid just fine, you're still going to be weighed down like you are in a puddle of water. So jumps are going to be a little bit harder to make, and you move pretty slow. But now we're being told to go back to Norfair, as there's something down the depths of Norfair that has some interest to us. So I guess we're going back to Norfair. That's a long trip. That's definitely going to be worth it, so let's get out of here. Now, there's nothing else we can really grab along the way, so we'll just be making a straight trip over to the Norfair area here. Now, if there were other items that you had to pick up along the way, this would be a good time to do so, but we've been doing that already pretty much in every single section that we've come across. As in a lot of times, it's actually been pretty fast for us to go get items the moment we're in these said areas. It doesn't really lose much time at all getting items, and that is something that is worth talking about here, because Metroid games, you're actually rewarded pretty nicely for beating them, not only with full completion of all, getting all the items and such, but you're also rewarded based on beating the games as fast as possible too, as there is a timer going on in the background the entire time we're playing this game, and you can see how long you're playing by going into your file and seeing right before you start the game how long you've been playing the said game. And by the end of your adventure, your time will be used to determine some ending screenshots in the case of Metroid Zero Mission. So you are rewarded for not only collecting all the items, but also for going fast too. Metroid games are very popular games to speedrun, and this timer being put in all the different Metroid games is one of the big reasons why. So this is definitely a series that you'll see a lot of people speedrun, even if they're not really a speedrunner per se. Even just a casual player will love to speedrun these kind of games, because the game does track you and you are rewarded for beating them as fast as possible, and even with certain conditions met too. So beating the game fast while getting all the items, that's another way of testing the said player. Right here, I'm actually going to use our new super missiles to open up the green hatch here, and use our shine spark to go all the way to the other side of this room, skipping pretty much the entire platforming section, so not much challenge there. And by doing that, you are rewarded with a super missile tank, so definitely want to take some more super missiles. And this room does have an interesting puzzle, because as we can see here, crumbling platforms, you definitely don't want that to be a problem. Same for the bomb platforms, you want to make sure to palm it in a very specific spot, otherwise the floor below you is just going to fall apart. I did see during the fly-in that there is something in this room for us to collect, and sure enough, it was a missile pack. So we kind of zoomed past this thing, not the end of the world, but now we got it. So to get out of here in style, let's get ready to do one big shine spark from the other side of the room. So let her rip, Samus. So fun to do a shine spark like that. It's not like it's the end of the world to go through that room playing it normally. I just love going through rooms as fast as possible like that using the shine sparks. It's just so rewarding. And it's just a lot of fun to do it too. But now that we got ourselves the Varia suit, we can go through this heated room we were at earlier once we got high jump. So might as well go this direction. But before we do so, get a refill of all of our things. All the health, the super missiles especially. We only have 4 supers right now. And we're going to be using super missiles pretty frequently at this point. To not only open up green hatch doors, but also to fight some enemies too, with just how powerful super missiles are. They're going to be really good to use in boss fights specifically, just because of the damage output alone. At this point, we want to go ahead and clear a path here, because we're going to need to use our speed booster in this room to make it to the other side. But there's a lot of blocks in our way, so we're going to have to get rid of all those. And now, let's go ahead and get ready with a shine spark. Unfortunately, just lost it because he got hit by an enemy. That's one thing you gotta be careful of when charging up a shine spark. If you get hit, you will drop your said shine spark. So be very careful about that. Don't take damage if you can avoid it. Alright, here we are, another save room. Might as well take this one. And there's a little bit more we gotta do to even get close to that said point here in Norfair that we're supposed to be going to. So let's just keep on making our way forward. I'm just gonna wall jump up here. Supposed to be using your ice beam to freeze enemies, but sometimes I just find it easier to not play as intended and just use your wall jumping or bomb jumps to your advantage. As long as you know how to do those said mechanics, it makes things a lot easier on you, the player. But right here, we got ourselves a map room, which is very helpful because at this point, we don't really know where we're going as the section we need to go, while the map doesn't tell us exactly where it is. Now we have a better idea how to get there, so we gotta go deeper into Norfair to get to our destination. Nope, might as well. Oh, I see, that's a fake floor. I'll remember that for later. We'll explore more over here, though, to the right. So let's just get an idea what's over here first. I see we got another green hatch. Conveniently for us, we do have super missiles. Swap off the supers. Don't want to use one of them by accident, which is very easy to do. To use the different missile types, as we were being told once we got the super missiles, you need to select the missiles with the select button. But if you forget to do that and have the wrong missile type equipped, it's very easy to waste a missile, even by accident. So pay attention to what missile you're using before you actually shoot your said missile out of your gun. It's very easy to use the wrong one by accident. I'm gonna go ahead and freeze this enemy. Keep on making our way over here to the right. And now, well, we're in this section of room. Doesn't really look like it has anything for us, but hey, look at that. One of the blocks we can destroy. And here, some fake lava, just like what we seen earlier on. Interesting. Just gonna go ahead and freeze his enemies. Just not really have much of a problem here, but as we can tell, we got a super missile pack we need to get. That's just kind of on its own. So we're gonna need to freeze an enemy to get over to that set section. So I'm gonna freeze this guy right here. And it's a little bit of an awkward jump to make, but I can make up for that by just using a wall jump, and there you go. Got ourselves a super missile tank. But that's not it. We're not done yet. Freeze you here. Fortunately missed the jump, but again, we have wall jumps to our advantage here, so we're just gonna wall jump out of here. I say as I can't wall jump. Okay, I guess we're doing the puzzle legitimately again. Come on over here, bug. Later. Come on over here later, I guess. The thing is, the timing on this is a little strict. Like, you have to freeze these guys in very specific spots, and if you miss it, yeah, this is just not gonna be easy. And that's the thing about this room I don't really like. It's just the timing on freezing this enemy. That's just timing things in general with your ice beam on enemies. It depends on the enemy type and even just where in general the enemy is for how easy or hard this kind of thing can be. So unfortunately in this case, this is not the easiest thing in the world to do.
One eternity later.
There we go. My gosh, this room is really annoying if you haven't been able to tell already because of very, very tight jumps. So, yeah, needless to say, not a fan. Not a fan of that room. But we're out of there. We got ourselves our missile pack. I hope it was worth it. I don't know if it was for me. Now I got it. Now we got to get out of here and go all the way back to where we came from earlier on. So, long trip. Let's get out of here. But we're gonna do it in style, because thankfully, this entire top section of this previous room we explored has a bunch of speed booster blocks so we can just zoom past, which is very convenient for our sake. And here, we can jump up to the top, and now we can head back over to our save room, saving that progress that we never have to worry about ever again. Very, very helpful. But now, with that missile pack collected, I think that is a good stopping point for this episode. So, now with the missiles collected, next time on Let's Play Metroid Zero Mission, we'll head deeper into Norfair and see what this point of interest has waiting for us in store. Thank you guys for watching, hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time.